Los Villas Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, we gonna get real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Really real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. 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 As you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes, indeedy, I'm about to write graffiti on the bus in a menudo style, in a direct fashion. We're gonna get straight into it, so I'm not playing. Put your antennas up like a cucaracha and survey the situation, because the situation's about to get real. R-E-A-L. On Paru. I got the tape. It's about to get real. Now trip out. You can tell. Just look at that thumbnail. Merced Wars, 1991 through 97. Ooh, it's about to get dangerous, right? I'm gonna tell you some more stories, man. So I can't tell you too much because I was incarcerated. But at the same time, I'm gonna tell you what went into the wars, why they happened. So I was scared how they happened, to what degree of happening, I could call it. But we're gonna get a little bit in there in the meantime, in between times. So I'm gonna try to slide in some historias. That's just what it is. Now, for those of you that don't know what red on red means, it means norteño on norteño crime. High treason, orale. Crime, bro. Shooting motherfuckers, plaqueating motherfuckers. For those of you that don't know what plaquear is, so I have to just define everything, huh? It means jumping and beating up and sucking and knocking out and fucking stomping out, and he's been plaqueated. That's it. He's been stamped. I'ma stamp that boy. I'ma stamp that boy, right? He's been stamped, he's been stomped, he's been hurt. Red on red can be a number of things. It can be everything from stomping on a motherfucker's headpiece, so I was gonna kick him right in the balls, to fucking pulling his old lady. You know what I mean? That's a crime, but you know what I mean? That's red on red. Anything that's done between two norteño barrios or another solo norteño to a norteño. That's it. That's red on red. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter what city you're in. If you're in Stockton, Sacramento, Merced, Oakland, you know what I mean? What's happening, right? It doesn't matter where you're at. That's what it means. Red on red. Now, I've been involved in a lot of that throughout my lifetime. When I got out of CYA, the wiggle was still real. Now, in about 1991 is when it started, right? And I'm going to tell you why it started. So there was a hood, okay? There once was a hood named Dead End from Merced that started in 1989. Yo, we don't got a long history. So we go about 30 years back. We don't go even before that. You know what I mean? I know there's waters down in LA from the 20s, 30s. There's cavemen walking around throwing up fucking white fence. You know what I mean? It's old school. But up north, man, it's a little bit different, man. A lot of the barrios, besides like Michon and Horseshoe and Sanjo and Salas and barrios like that, or cities like that have old school roots, Merced's always been different. We always had VMR, Barrio Merced Rifa, West Side Merced, and that was that. That was pretty much plain and simple what it was. Of course, other barrios started to come along, and my barrio started in 1989, and it was way too vicious. So vicious, though, right? We got it in. Now, in 1989, it was just us on the west side and Barrio Merced Rifa, and of course, West Side Merced. That was it, plain and simple. Now, of course, we didn't take into the west side. We didn't take into what the Vatos were propagating and what they were putting out there. So as youngsters, man, we were doing our own thing. We were doing our own wiggle. We were coming up, Vato. You know what I mean? When you're a young gang, man, you either come up or you fizzle out like a fizzle pop. That's just what it is, man. It's either one or the other. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, or no in-between time. In the meantime, so I can't call it like an alcoholic. All I know was Dead End took fire and it started to prosper in the city of Merced, specifically on the west. Something about the... Shh. Stop snitching, Holmes. Don't tell nobody. So anyways, we were pretty much the dominant group, man. We started to gain numbers, and that's just what it was in Dead End. Now, along comes another barrio, right? From the north side of Merced, a very well-known, well-respected, I give them nothing but the props and the respect, of barrio called Loft Bro Locals, LBL, right? So they came along on the north side. We knew the vatos. So we went to school with them. It was no thing but a chicken wing. The only difference was they grew up about 19 blocks away on the other side of town. And that was pretty much it. They had their own barrio. It was a clica. It was a strong clica. You know, was having respect. That feels even better, right? They were feeling good because they had respect. And they were gaining respect. And like I said, we knew a lot of these guys, so it wasn't no thing, man. We still went to school together and shit. They said, I know you. What, they're from Lapro. Well, how'd that happen? So that's good, because that's where I live. That's right. You know what I mean? And that was it. Pretty much that was it. And me, like the babosa I stood in the background watching. I was a youngster. Look at you. Mira este vato. So that's good with some size 48 pants. You know what I mean? That's what it was, bro. It wasn't no thing. It was just neighborhoods springing up. along the lines of that timeline came another volume called RBL, Rebels Before Locals. Okay, they sprang up, and right from the gate initially, man, where there was some type of animosity there because of their name. RBL meant rebels, right? But they like to say it meant rebels before locals. Us being DEL, dead end locals, we took it as a slight. We took it as some type of fucking fuck you, bella, right? And there was always some type of friction and animosity there. But it was what it was, man. It wasn't like people were out there killing each other. We used to have West Side versus North Side hood fights, man. We'd go over to different schools. People would fight each other. There was always that underlying tension. But at the same time, it wasn't out there. Like, there wasn't like vatos were shooting each other right in the fucking forehead and shit. It wasn't that serious, man. We didn't have them delirious like Eddie Murphy. We weren't curious like George. It was none of that. Sasuke was more like, hey, I'm going to fuck your lady right then in that fashion. Sasuke, why you going to fuck my lady, eh? Spence already did. Arby's. Right? And that's more like what it was. It was more just of a little tit for tat, tat for tit type stuff. Now, eventually about 1991 is when the dust started to kick up. That's when Vato started to look at the other side of town and feel some type of way and tension. Now, you have to understand, right about that time, so that's good. In the timeline, the young gun, also known as Skinner, man, gets incarcerated for a muerto. So I'm gone. I'm up out the mix, man. But believe me, I'm hearing the streets. So I'm getting my ears to the fuck. I'm hearing the vibration. You know what I mean? I'm hearing this. It sounds like Sasquatch feet when it's stomping, right? I'm hearing what's going on in the town. Homeboys are getting at me. I'm getting letras. People are writing me. I got some real ones, man, that still tapped in every once in a great fucking blue moon. Oh, that didn't happen for too long. But homeboys would let me know, like, hey, we're going at it real heavily with the north side of Merced, with Loft Bro. They've clicked up on RBL and Planada and La Grande and all these towns against us. I was like, what about me, right? And I was furious because I wanted to be involved in the reindeer games. I wanted to be involved in the gangbanging. But I had my own shit to worry about. So I was down there with Southside about they were making sure I got all the gangbang that I wanted. You know what I mean? They were making sure that they brought every piece of metal and battery pack to the yarda that they had possession of. And I was going to feel all the repercussions for that. That was right off the top. I had my own shit to worry about. But I would hear from time to time, call a homeboy. You know what I mean? Every great blue moon, like I said, a homeboy would answer the phone like, oh, fuck, I thought that was my tío. I didn't even know it was you. Anyway, it was cracking, Holmes, right? And he said, hey, what's going on out there in the street? Nada, bro. I just went and got a chili dog, a winter schnitzel. Yeah, no. Besides all that, eh? No, what? Who's that in the background, man? She sounds fine. It's your old lady, Spencer Holmes. I didn't mean to turn her on. Dun, dun, dun. You know what I mean? So I'd be on my own trip with the homeboys. They'd run me down, basically. And there seemed to be, every time I called, there seemed to be a lot more red on red going on. And at this time, we didn't even know that the term red on red meant. We gonna learn that later on, right? It was fucking the other water we were fighting, whatever. And I guess it got pretty heavy and pretty hot out there in Merced. Valto started to have shootings back and forth. I remember a homeboy from Dead End, man, gets incarcerated. And he was in there, and I was like, hey, what are you in here for, bro? He's like, a little shooting. I was like, is that right? What happens? Some Southsiders slid through. You had to get on their headpiece real quick. So I was like, you know how we do it. So I was like, boom. You know how we do. Oh, under the ice cube, right? He's like, Charlie, bro, it was them Valtos from RBL. I said, we're getting down like that? We're killing other Norteños? Because, I was on my Norteño high power trip. All homeboys from every city together, man. I was learning canalismo at its highest degree, man. And I needed every spoke in that day. Now, I don't give a fuck if there was just one fucking spoke that was chrome and didn't get dipped in gold. I needed them, right? So I learned to adapt to my surroundings. And as it was in CYA, all Norteños were sticking together. So there was no bias with me. But I kept hearing about this Merced trip, man, about North Side versus West Side. And it kept going on. And I kept meeting people that were getting incarcerated. So I started to implement it in YA. This is, you feel that? That's the fucking wind blowing. This is a fact. Sit down here if you don't know the historia, right? So I can give you some knowledge you can't get in motherfucking Hill College. Straight, remember when you watched that commercial right after Maury in Hill College? Come on, you could come to us. In 18 months, you could fucking be a nurse, right? Sasuke, you ain't gonna be no nurse. You're gonna be wearing, oh yeah, you're gonna be wearing the nurse outfit. Sasuke, but you ain't gonna be no nurse. You know what I mean? You're gonna be the assistant to the nurse, like an assistant pimp. You ain't no pimp, you're an assistant pimp. You're gonna come from a long line of assistant nurses. That's what you're gonna be. Period. Anyway, Sasuke, give me my pluma, okay? You know what I mean? Yeah, where'd you learn that in Hill College? Alright, there, that's what you got. So trip out. I'm hearing all this shit, and I said, you know what, fuck it. I felt that for no other reason, I should start implementing this in California Youth Authority as well, because I wanted to get my issue. I've always been rooted to the streets, to Merced. The love of my life has always been my city. You know, my vida was right there. My heart, my cora, everything was the city of Merced. Just like anyone else that represent their barrio or love their city or love their area, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of vatos, you know, Islo, Sanjo, Gilas, Tula, fucking San Fran, Michon. You know, everybody has love for their city. Of course, I have Merced. Everyone loves their town. Fresno. That's just the way it's supposed to be. And at the end of the day, the politics of the street are not supposed to matter while incarcerated, but to me, they mattered, right? I had my own personal agenda. So I remember in Preston, I'm landing in Preston, there's a homeboy there from Lofbro, you know what I mean? And there's about 5 or 6 of us from the west. We were always deeper, but there was vatos coming from the north side into YA. And I remember getting at a homeboy from the west, and I was like, hey, bro, that vato's on your compa? He was like, yeah. I said, hey, you know, we need to get off on him every time we see him. He was like, why? He's from the town. He's a homeboy. I said, he ain't my homeboy. Right? I was feeling some type of way. And in the end, I was wrong. I was totally wrong. I was totally off base. And I would learn that over time. But we did make a couple moves on the vault, man. We did try to fucking drop him levels on some bullying tactics. You know what I mean? Hey, it just was what it was, man. I was feeling some type of way. And I was letting the street politics dictate my incarceration politics. And that was totally, totally wrong. So I was scared. And I'd get in trouble for that one. Right? So I was scared, but I was willing to take that on the chinny chin chin one time. And dust myself off and try again. All right, that's just the way it was. So I remember we used to go at it, man. Vatos from the north side of Merced would come in, you know, get incarcerated. Vatos from RBL, I'd get off on them. They'd get off on me, man. Eventually, the homeboys from San Jose, Sala, San Fran, Oakland, all these different towns, man. We had a junta. They sat down. They told me, you can't do this shit, eh? Don't underestimate. I said, well, I already know the other guy's greed. Now he said, the other guy's hands. You got a big old black guy, eh? I was like, Spencer, you know what I mean? It'd be like, you're packing it for the rest of the homeboys. Hey, Madera, I've been from La Honda longer than you have, right? Sasuke, don't even trip. Eventually, got to chopping up with a lot of these vatos from Lockbro, RBL, man. It was respects and love. Now, on the streets was a different story. I can't call it like an alcoholic. What the homeboys were doing and what they were doing was 5 different things, right? They was out there fucking handling their business, and I was hearing names, and I was checking my list, writing my list, checking it twice. When I get out, he's naughty, he's nice, right? I was about to get out and fucking do some things. So I got out. Okay, 1996, I step out the motherfucking doors, right? The puertas open, and let's get young guns out of here. So let's get what's happening, right? And I get out and immediately I check in with the homeboys, as you should, right? I check in with the homeboys because I want to see what's going on. I want to get right into the mix. And I'm being told 2 things, man. We're out here, bro. It's cracking. It's hot as fuck out here. I said, Simon, it's 110 degrees, summertime. Nah, even besides that, bro. You can't go on the north side, they be tripping. I was like, man, shit, I'm going to Pizza Villa. You got me fucked up, Sasuke, on a little pan pizza. I've been fucking, that's the best shit I had in 9 months. Hey, I'm jonesing. I'm going over there, right? So I remember being told, like, hey, you got to watch out when you're over there on that side of town. Vatos are tripping. And there were several incidences that happened, you know, 1996 to 1997. 1997 is when All Red on Red had ceased. There's always going to be some tension and some bullshit, man. But I'm going to tell you what happened. So anyways, what happens is we're mobbing through the mall. There's about 5 homeboys. Didn't mean to turn you on. Dun, dun, dun. I was just listening to that song. Anyways, we're mobbing, and who do I see? Lo and behold, about 5 vatos from RBL. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, dream team. We about to get our dream team on in the house, right? And these vatos are looking, and we're looking, and the homeboys are ready to get up. And then one of the homeboys that I was with, he was gonna get it real nice. He had a little something in a 9mm fashion, allegedly, right? So he's like, we'll do it right here in the middle of the mall. And I was like, Charlie, because I don't want to go back to jail, first and foremost. And 2, it ain't that serious, man. I know we got him curious. So fucking one vato was walking, and I recognized him from the old school. His name was Pegleg, right? So I was like, hey, bro. And they're just mugging. We're mugging. It's kind of like a stand-up. We're all right there. They're right there. Sasuke. Everyone has their hands up. Wait, you know, it was about to get down right there. Serio. And I was like, hey, let me get at you, bro. And he was like, what's happening? And I was like, hey, but we're all homeboys, bro. We're all Norteños. I don't know where you guys come from, because no one's ever really known your body, right? You've been all over the place with it. That's besides the point. What is it, bro? I mean, we could all get down, Sasuke. We could all really fuck this place up, right? But you're gonna lose. He said, I ain't going against the guns. Oh, Sasuke, I know you're not, right? Anyways, we were able to facilitate some type of agreement to work it out that day. Vatos still weren't feeling each other, but man, him having the type of mentality he had, just like I knew he did, he was more on the Norte tip. Norte comes before anything, and that's what I was too. I was able to change that situation. Not saying I was so shot caller or nothing. So I just didn't want to get caught up. I just got out. What the? Right? We could go back. Fuck it. I'm about to have a heart attack. Anyway, so we were done with that. So it started to get hot and heavy in the town, man. And I ain't gonna lie. I'll be a motherfucking bullshitter and a quitter if I didn't say that I didn't get involved in a few things. You know, things I can't speak on in the motherfucking exact detailed story. But let's just say there was shit going on where I felt that for no other reason, man, we need to stop this bullshit, right? And one of the instances that went on there was a vato named Tiny from Lockbro. Okay, he's no longer in good standings. He might not even be standing as far as I'm concerned. But he was a little lightweight rapper from the town. Everyone knew him, man. We wanted him. We wanted him bad. He was putting in that major work on the water, that major super duper guac 9000 type work. This vato was over there just hang. To what degree of gun I can't call it, but he had that motherfucker, right? Space shit. He was putting in work, man. I remember he shot a couple homeboys, allegedly. You know what I mean? From what they say, I can't call it. I wasn't there. He was all point bulletins around him. You know what I mean? He was like State Farm. He was all over the place. Sasuke, he was insured, but not with Geico. We were on his ass, vato. And we almost caught him a few times, man. I told the story about one time we caught him at this chick's house and I let him slide by. Walk on by. Just because I felt good that day. So again, I didn't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? Straight up. But the gangbanging could have got real. Could have got real. And so I was more worried about this vato safety and security and what was happening with my homeboys. So yes, 1996, man, like a motherfucking G that I am. And that's real talk, man. I'm not trying to act like I'm some straight up gangster because I'm just a grown man now. I'm not involved in nada, right? But I thought I was, you know. I took a cruise over to the north side of Merced to Loughborough. They were having a party. This is a fucking fact. There are vatos on here that will verify it. And I knocked at the door. Vato answered the door. He's a very well-known member, man, from Loughborough. I'm not going to say his name, man. Respects to the Vato. He's still active, and he finds. What do you want, Essie? I said, hey, trip out. I need to get at you, Vatos, man. And he was like, this pinche vato must be on medication. Pinche vato loco's crazy, right? I said, listen, I'm not Amarillo. Come on, Johnny Gunjank, let me come in here. So they let me come in for old time's sake. You know what I mean? Like Freddie Jackson. I came in that motherfucker. Music stopped. Vatos are looking at me. Cuetes are pulled. I'm like, damn, man. They want that going. I hope, and I pray. You know what I mean? They're not fucking going to smack me right one time. It could have went down. And I started getting at him about the Norte tip, what it meant to be a Norteño, striving, just a little education. I didn't have much education. It wasn't like I was in and out of prison at this time. I just got out of YA, man. But we were striving in that motherfucker, man. And I told him about the canalismo between other cities and all homeboys and how it was supposed to be. The love we had for the gente, the strives, the hardship, everything that we had to go through, the sacrifices that we made to maintain on these yardas. And, you know, all the older homeboys and the founding fathers, man, and what they're going through still so that we could have these red banners, that we could say fucking Norte and all that's right. And they were feeling it. Some of them were like, can I shoot him already? Can I shoot him already? Right? I was like, hey, I'll hold, right? Eventually, a lot of them weren't feeling it, but a lot of them were, and they understood, and they gave me my respect for even showing up and voicing my opinion. Now, of course, that didn't stop shit. So I didn't accomplish not one damn thing but putting myself in a vicious situation. Anyways, but I kind of had the love. There was plenty of times, man, I got caught slipping by other adversaries and they just let me go, right? So I don't know why. I don't know if there was a devil on my shoulder or an angel. Whatever the case may be, I was able to slide by and I was happy for that I was able to facilitate that, at least for myself. Other homeboys, I can't call it. There's homeboys with bullets in their asses right now talking about, what about me, man? I don't know, Pac-Man. You're on your own, Danny, man. You know, I'm doing me. So trip out. Another incident that took place this trip. We were having a party right off of M Street, man. There was a place called Strawberry Alarm Clock. The Fatty Mocha. They've done changed the name. Now it's like a weed shop or something. I can't call it. But it used to be a little spot, like a little club where you could rent it out. And I mean, this shit was big, not as big as my office right here. Office. Watch out. Un mexicano con un office. I'm doing big things, right? It wasn't too much bigger than this room right here I'm in. And we're parlayed for one of the homegirls' birthdays. All the homeboys from the water, man. I remember, and me and my homeboy, we were outside in the front. He was smoking a leño, I was smoking a little frajito. You know what I mean? I was trying to win one time. And this bomb goes by, bro. This green bomb. And we already knew automatically these were the vatos from Planet. Now, you have to understand, this was Red on Red too. They were from Vario Planet X, right? VPX. And we were going at it with Vario Planet X, LeGrand, the North Side. So everybody wanted that smoke. You know what I mean? But we had enough smoke to bring to everyone. Believe that. You know, that's a fact. I'm not going to say we was winning the war, Charlie. It was even Steven. Motherfuckers was going at it, bro. Everybody was getting clipped. Everybody. But these vatos came by, man, and they know it. I know it. We all know it. They went back on 4 flats, no windows. I was getting head caved in. You know what I mean? It went down right there on Main Street. So we showed them what the Merced Theater area was really like. This ain't farmers market, homes. We're going to show you how farmeros market their shit out. Right? We were getting off. That happened, allegedly. Things happen. Okay, so there was a lot of incidents that took place between this war, man. Did any bodies drop? No. Okay, that's one thing I could commend the city of Merced for, was with this red on red between the north side and the west side, you know, the predominant groups, there was never no bodies that dropped. There were vatos that got clipped. There were vatos that got hit. You know what I mean? Vatos that they came close. But no one ever died, man. And that was a great situation. Now, of course, in 1997, the GUN album came out. Different things were dictated to the gente, man. It started to become more structured up in the town of Merced, the city of Merced. We were under the guidance of the influence of bigger entities, bigger organizations, man. And we ran with that because we were always high-powered in Merced. So it's to this day, very high-powered city, very structured, very up to par, you know, in their willings and dealings. And you all know, man, when it comes to up north in Northern California, man, prisons run everything, bro. They run the programas. Yeah, you might have your own rules and regulations in your body or things that you abide by, but at the end of the day, none of that means shit if the big homie says, do it. Oh. But what? But nothing, right? Straight up, you're going to do what you do, period. And that's just the way it is. And of course, man, the red on red ceased immediately. It didn't happen overnight. It happened right then and there. Vatos a chale, we're done. And for many years, man, there was no pleito. There was no problems. Of course, there was other enemigas to worry about, like the Merced Gangster Crips, and no, the Asians were always good, and some Southsiders that would trickle in and try to establish barrios here and there. You know, there was a little bit of funk. But for the most part, man, there was always that underlying animosity between barrios, and so it's okay, we can't kill each other, but you guys stay over there, we're going to stay over here. Nowadays, I hear barrios are more, they kick back. I see them in music videos together. Everyone's showing love, and it's a beautiful thing, man. But there were the time of wars. For the vatos that don't know the historia, there were times of war, and man, we used to funk. We used to funk heavy. I remember one time a vato from Lofbro, man, came to the fair. He was mobbing, flamed up, Lofbro on his fucking sweater, hella hyenas with him. And there were Southsiders right there, and I told the homeboys, look, let's get off on the Southsiders. And they're like, nah, we want to get off on this fool first. Eventually, man, me and the homeboy Monkey from Dead End Homes, we prevented that shit. And that, why am I always the one to this is a fact. Because I had a fucking boca, homes. I always had mouthpiece. So I was telling my homies, like, Charlie, homes, why are we tripping on this? These vatos are trying to invade like Napoleon. Let's go over there and handle it. So go, fuck it then. Let's go. That's how it was. Anyways, with that being said, man, just a few little war stories. I wanted to give you a timeline on the history of Merced. It's Sunday. Last day for a fun day. Back to business as usual comes Monday. What are they? Lighter shade of brown. And I'm going to do it in a motherfucking Ben Drunk fashion. You know what it is. Hey, I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I hope that you proceed in a smooth fashion, man. Go out there and get it for your familia, man. Remember, at the end of the day, we're all brown. I tell these stories so that you can learn some historia, and also tell these stories. They're entertaining. You can't lie, right? Anyways, if you like the story, man, please hit that like and subscribe. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in. I talk fast, but I move fast with a purpose also. Bang back or slow down if you need me to. Bang, bang. The gun.